Well, you know what? The film we got now in 2016, we waited for so long. We finally get this collaboration, this matchup, and you know, the reception is so shaky. It shouldn't be like that for this type of movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, and fans going off the critics, is that supposed to be? Was that the intent with this movie? Was that that's the Batman vs Superman film we got, is for fans to go on a witch hunt? I mean, I know that people like the film, that's one thing. But it's like, it's kind of repeating that, I don't want to say controversy, but just sort of like that same Man of Steel kind of backlash, or just
it's
rattling of cages, or some
and like, hey, if it was just the editing or whatever, I could understand that, because that's a big movie to put together and it takes time, and deadlines get cut, and it has to be pushed, and you gotta get it out by the time the studio says you have to have it out. If that was the case, I would not even open my mouth, because I know it's hard to put a movie together. But they deliberately went against all their fan base and just said, okay, we're gonna give you snippets of it, and showed all the different snippets of all the things together in the trailer, and then said, okay, this is how it's gonna go. And I think we can only blame ourselves by saying, okay, we should have known that this was going to happen, because by looking at the trailers, it was perfectly clear that they weren't respecting any sort of natural storyline movement. They weren't going. They were giving us stuff, and I just remember seeing trailers and going, "Doomsday's in this? Like, why is Doomsday in this?" Or it just, things didn't fit.
Yeah, and it's like a common pattern. It's like a common wave of now the studios, they just want to bring forth their own fan fiction or change shit up. Look what happened to Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. It's I think someone said it this one time. It's like nowadays, it's like the nerds have taken over this, like Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's. I don't know what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Let me get back to that. Like, keep talking. I'm gonna try to come with a point, because
I see where you're going. I see where you're going with that, because it was like I was saying before, how we grown up with certain properties, and now we're old enough to make the movies, and the directors who are out there are from that generation. So why are they not sticking to the plan?
And people complain to studios for that?
Yeah, and you would think that DC would be the first one to say, fuck you, it's this way. This is our, we created this, we saw all the trends, we know what works, we want to be true. You'd think they would be the first ones to step in and say, this is not going to fly. But they didn't.
Yes.
So that's why I don't feel bad about trashing that movie. DC knew better. They obviously knew better. And I
look at it too, now I'm kind of getting back to that point. But, like, a lot of people today, like, not talking about people on YouTube and such, like the people we know,
mm-hmm.
but just outside of YouTube in the real world, there's, it's like the nerds have taken over everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm a nerd myself. I'm a nerd for movies and such. But it's to the point where do you think this nostalgia thing has come back? It's like, we're nerds for nostalgia. We love the past and such. And now it's kind of brought back to the extreme, where they want to kind of fuck with material, or retrace and retread movies, remake movies, reboot franchises and such. because that stuff in the past, oh, it's obsolete. It's old. It's this. It's that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a general. It's like a. I don't know what I'm saying. It's like a general thought, or like nowadays everything's just too old. Like things of the past, it's obsolete. It's dated. So
for sure. Like you can't. Like no. Like whoever tries to sell me on it, no one can sell me on the fact that, or that. So for example, this new Doomsday, this Zod, the Doomzod or Zod's Day, or whatever you want to call it. There's no way anyone can tell me that this is more menacing than what came out in the 90s. There's no way. I look at those pages and first of all, you should have a whole movie that's just a fucking slugfest. You know, you should have your first half an hour or maybe an hour setting everything up. Well, first half an hour setting everything up. Second half an hour have Doomsday ripping through that city and things start moving. And the other hour and a half, it should just be all the way. Like, no breaks. Just fucking fist fight. You know, hour and a half, 90-minute fist fight. Like, the greatest monster movie of all time. There's no way anyone can tell me that this Doomsday is more menacing than anything I saw as a child, because that Doomsday was frightening. You just had to look at the artist's rendition on the page and you knew that thing. There was no remorse. You knew that thing was just gonna kill. As soon as it got out of the ground, as soon as it got out of captivity, you know, the bird comes down, bird lands in his hand. He's looking at the bird and he just like fucking crushes the bird in his hand. You know, and then just starts, anything he sees, he just starts attacking it. And the bone structure and every blow he gave Superman looked painful. Every move he did looked unstoppable. He's my favorite DC villain because, like, growing up reading that stuff, even when you get to Hunter vs. Prey, that's insane. It's so psychological. He's like the thing of nightmares. Clark's having dreams of being a little kid and a little baby boy having to go down into the cellar. And he's getting halfway down those stairs in the cellar, and he's looking in there, and he just sees Doomsday's red eyes down there. You know, and then the door closes, and he can't find his way back up. And Doomsday's just down there breathing, looking at him. You know, completely, like, wow, like, imagine filming that scene today. They just ruined that. You know? They just ruined it.
It's like Doomsday is just as intimidating as Abomination from Incredible Hulk, you know?
Yeah.
Because I kept getting those reminders of Abomination.
Yeah. It's a small head structure and all that, and it's sad because I really wanted to see like the protruding bones and like the, you know, like the bones over the eyes and like the everything like that. Felt kind of ripped off.
Let me ask you something too in regards to this film, because I know I was kind of debating with this guy recently, and he kind of says, well, it seems like all the DC fans hate this movie. Is that so? I mean, is that?
I know DC fans who love this movie. If they love it, that's great. It's great for them. But I'm envious that they can find joy in things that I can't find joy in. But you know, I'm not going to ruin that for them. Hey, all the power to you, man. If you like it, that's great. But
and that's not an issue.
No, it's just that, you know, I've paid so many dollars for tickets and done the thing of going, you know, taking my girlfriend or taking my friend and paying their ticket to go see a movie that I really was hoping to be good, and then they just threw it pretty much in the trash and gave us a plate of leftovers. You know, it's just, they've let me down so many times that
more like a plate of crumbs.
Yeah, I just feel disenchanted to trust them anymore. You know, But yeah.
I mean, because it's just weird how when this movie came out and critics all over it, and then people jumped on them, and it's kind of like I said before, it's kind of just died out. And I'm not going to sit here and say that, oh, they're starting to realize how much it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a battle that wasn't going to get anywhere. It was just kind of a pointless battle at the critics.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of these things. I mean, if people who defend the film, that's fine, because I just go, and if you don't believe me, for those out there, just go check the forums. People will go to bat for this film. People are still saying, oh, this is the end of Marvel, and this is the beginning of DCU, and this is just the beginning, because I've been to those forums recently, and people are still going to bat for this film, and, they're treating it as if it's going to be a cult classic, because of how much the critics have been, just going ham on it, going to town on this film.
Maybe it will be a cult classic as the worst film ever made. Like, though it's so bad, it's good to watch because you can make fun of how much they fucked it up like 20 years later. It's
yeah,
like, ha.
I think it's just, for me personally, it's Spider-Man 3 all over again.
Yeah.
And that's fine. People like the film, I know this we've kind of gone away, but with the topic of opinions, but that's fine, because it just kind of,
we're still in there.
It's all part of, we're just kind of going off in crazy tangents, and I'm fine with that.
Sorry.
But no, you're good. No, don't apologize, because I think we should talk about this movie, because I got people still commenting, and still, yes, you got the assholes, and you got people that have left cruel remarks, and so people are still coming to me about this film, and I don't know, it's one of these things that I thought I buried it, and it just keeps coming back up, like it's trying to crawl out of its grave, and I'm just here to fucking knock it out with a shovel,
Yeah.
And it's just nothing against the people who like it. It's fine, by all means, if you like it. But it's a film that just keeps creeping up, and I keep getting reminded of this film, and I don't know if you're getting that too, or it's just
yeah. Like I said before, I'm envious for people who could like this, but I just don't see how they can't realize that it's they've been had. You know what I mean? They've been had.
It's like the horse that you've beaten to death, and it's like the Jason Voorhees of horses.
Yeah.
And to me, it just seems that way. And as long as this movie is still around, and I will still crap on it. That's just me, because I don't like the film.
Yeah, me either. I like Ben Affleck, and I really hope he can do something to turn his character around. I think he deserved that character.
And he's getting a Batman solo film.
Yeah.
And he was never the problem. And that's also too. This guy that brought up, I had a debate with. He was actually one of those that wrote a petition to stop Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get why people,
And he was kind of like, oh well, he was too old for the part, and he has a very bad track record. And I'm like, for one, did you not know they were looking for a older Bruce Wayne, an older Batman? They talked about this before.
If anything, he should have been younger. Or I mean, if anything, he should have been older. Because he comes across as a little too young to be the Peter Weller Batman, let's say. He's too young to be the Peter Weller Batman.